Everyone, give it up for Joy, one of the organizers for the March for Medicare for All.
The whole world is watching! The whole world is watching! Thank you. I'm so glad to see everyone here. I had no idea what it was going to look like when I jumped on board this train that's left the station. I'd like to give a shout out to the speakers that have already spoken and are about to speak. Thank you so much for helping make this a success. I'd like to thank my moms for helping me get here myself. She's the bestest, sweetest mom. I have my own challenges that I'm dealing with. I don't know if any of you guys saw that I came in a transport, but I can walk, but it's going such a distance, I thought, well, it'd be better to do the transport. We used to have a transport for my dad. So I have polymyositis. I was diagnosed when I was 35, which was in 2004. And it's a rare neuromuscular autoimmune condition that affects your proximal muscles. And it also affected my lungs and gave me mild interstitial lung disease. So it puts me at high risk for COVID. So my doctor was like, you can't go anywhere. I was like, okay, wear a mask. Like, okay. And when I lost my job, I couldn't afford Cobra. That's like hundreds of dollars a month. It's ridiculous. I couldn't afford that. And you can't afford Cobra. I couldn't afford the medications either. Well, I could afford prednisone, which a lot of people may be familiar with. I have a love-hate relationship with it myself. I couldn't afford the immunosuppressants. Even the generics cost way too much. I couldn't afford those. So I had a flare-up. It got harder and harder for me to stand up from a seated position, climb stairs, raise my arms. So even when I was first diagnosed, they said, Joy, raise your hands. I was like, it was the hardest thing to do, just something that simple. So I got worse, and you couldn't qualify for Medicaid, because when you're on unemployment, they have this bad math that figures that, you know, the little that you make, it's still too much, you're just too rich on unemployment. So I couldn't get that. What is that? So finally, when my unemployment ran out, and I'm still unemployed, by the way, it's been maybe 2 years. So finally, then I could qualify for Medicaid. And so I was finally able to see my specialist, because when you have polymyositis, you need a specialist. And a lot of specialists don't take Medicaid, but thankfully mine did. But there are a lot of states that don't have expanded Medicaid, and they can't take advantage of that. So I'm grateful for that. But people shouldn't have to go through that, being dependent on a job, to be covered and get the care that people need. And I haven't mentioned this before in my YouTube interviews, but I also deal with mental depression. And it's been just hard with that. So I was not thinking I was going to be taking this on in a somewhat leadership role at all. Because I was, thinking, it was overwhelming.
You did great!
Thank you. And sometimes I have trouble concentrating in my memory, but I had a lot of help. I got to give a shout out to my MVPs, like Dan Meslar, Nimesh Patel, Anna Shafovine, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Heartless Media, Jerry, Dr. Pam, Meyer, absolutely Martise Chisholm, absolutely Jamal Green. I'm running out of the names. Thank you, Janae, for coming. And a shout out for Representative Danny Davis for being here. He used to be my representative, so I wasn't expecting it. Like, thank you for coming and showing your support. And all of you that have come out here and helped make this a thing. It means so much to me. So thank you. The whole world is watching. The whole world world is watching. Thank you.